Have we wronged God? Have we made mistakes that have probably hurt the heart of God? What does the Lord do? He forgives. He doesn't hold it against us. He doesn't keep bringing it up over and over. He doesn't point the finger to us and say, this is your fault. The reason that you and I are not close is your fault. He forgives. And he calls us to do the same. Maybe we play this blame game because we really do have a sense of guilt that we just don't want to deal with. Maybe there's some things that we said, maybe there's some things we've done that have caused hurt, that have caused some tension, that have caused a breakup of some kind in this relationship. But I feel bad about that, and I don't want to feel bad about that, and I'm not sure how to do that. I don't want to have a conversation about it. I don't want to have to, already we talked about I don't want to acknowledge my responsibility, but I definitely don't want to have to deal with the guilt. So if I can make you feel guilty, then maybe I won't feel as guilty. If I can point the fingers at you and blame you, I won't have to deal with my own guilt. So Ahab did this with Elijah. Ahab was this evil king that led the people of Israel completely away from God, worshipped other gods, complete injustice in his kingdom, just an awful human being, if you read through all the scripture and all the things that Ahab did. And so God punished the nation of Israel because of it. They had walked away from him. They weren't obeying his laws. They weren't treating each other right. They were worshiping other gods instead of worshiping him. And God had told his people hundreds of years before Ahab, when you do that, if and when you walk away from me and you start living this opposite life that I want you to live, there's going to be consequences. And one of those, of the many consequences, one of them was there's going to be famine. The skies are not going to open. It's not going to rain. Now, when you're talking to an agriculture-based society, that's a problem. And it doesn't rain for 3 years. There's no rain. God is punishing his people for walking away from their relationship with him. He's got a prophet named Elijah. And Ahab knows that Elijah's connected with God, and Elijah's been praying with God. And so Elijah comes to Ahab and says, we need to work this out. We need to get people back on track again. But when they first have that meeting, I want you to see what Ahab says to Elijah in 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 17. When he saw Elijah, talking about Ahab, when he saw Elijah, he said to him, is that you troubler of Israel? This is your fault. You prayed to God for it not to rain, it's not raining. You've asked God for him to hurt the kingdom, and he's hurting the kingdom. What is Ahab probably recognizing? I've walked us away from God. I'm worshiping other gods. I'm not obeying, and I'm leading our people and not obeying God. So I don't want to deal with that guilt. I don't want people to blame me. So what do? Blame somebody else. You're the troublemaker. You're the one causing all this to go wrong. This is your fault. So whether it's been modeled for us or whether we want control or we just don't want to own our own decisions and the consequences from them or the guilt that we're having to deal with, ultimately, I don't want to feel bad about my choices, about my words, about my actions. And if I can make you feel bad, or at least make myself feel better by putting the blame on you, then everything's fine. I win. That's how we play the blame game. And the problem is that we actually lose. We lose the ability to communicate. We don't talk. We don't share. We don't talk through issues. We don't engage in healthy discussions because you know that all I'm going to do is end up blaming everything on you. We lose our ability to grow and to improve in this relationship. We lose our ability to grow as a family. We lose our ability to grow as a couple. We lose our ability to make this friendship stronger than it has been. I don't empathize. I don't communicate. I don't resolve issues. I just point the finger at you, and we get stuck in the same place over and over again. We lose trust. If I'm constantly blaming you, you're going to start to feel like I don't really care that much about you. You don't really mean that much to me. I'm not putting your needs above my own. Resentment builds up. Anger builds up. And eventually the relationship falls apart. Who wants to be in a relationship with somebody who constantly points the finger at them and blames them and tells them that everything that's going wrong is their fault? Nobody wants to be a part of that. So they walk away. So what do I do? If this is my habit, if this is the game that I consistently play, what do I do about that? I want to give you some things to help very quickly, and we'll wrap up this morning. First thing I'm strictly going from if I'm the one doing the blaming, okay? So let me quickly offer this disclaimer. If you're in a relationship where somebody consistently blames you all the time, have a conversation about that. I mean, we talked last week about playing the quiet game and not addressing things that might be a problem, right? Have a conversation about that. I feel like you blame me all the time, and it makes me feel bad. Let's do something different. You have the right to do that, okay? But if I'm the one doing the blaming, if I want to get out of that habit where I'm playing the blame game and I'm pointing the fingers at you and I'm constantly saying that you always do this and this is your fault, how do I change that habit? How do I stop playing this game? Number one, I need to own my own mistakes. The things that I do that are hurting our relationship, the choices that I made that I shouldn't have, the words that I said that I shouldn't have, I need to own that. I need to be humble enough to recognize I've made a mistake. I've done something I shouldn't have. I've caused a problem in this relationship. I'm owning that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I recognize the hurt that's caused. I recognize the anxiety that I'm causing because of what I have said or what I've done. Let me own that. And folks, that's what God has called all of us to do. Galatians chapter 6, beginning in verse 4, Paul says each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else. For each one should carry their own load. I'm going to take a look at me. What is it that I'm doing that's causing a problem? What is it that I'm not communicating or over communicating? What is it that I'm doing that's being hurtful? What are the actions that I'm taking or things that I'm not doing that are causing this person that I'm friends with, that I'm in family with, that I'm married to? What is it that I am doing to hurt this relationship? I need to be real and honest about that. That takes humility. I got to let go of my pride. I got to let go of my natural tendency to say, I'm fine, it's them. And I need to be honest enough, even if it is, if you want to make the argument, even if it is mostly them. What am I doing? What could I be doing different? I need to own my mistakes. And then secondly, I need to choose my words carefully. And what I mean by that is I might have the right, I might actually say, well, but I do feel hurt. They did something that hurt me. There is damage in our relationship. There is something that could be better. There is some anxiety that's happening, and I need to do something with that. That's fine. But communicate that carefully. Don't walk into the conversation going, hey, we need to talk about how you're screwing this relationship up. That's not healthy. But to sit down with the person and go, okay, there's some things that I think could be better about us. And I recognize that I'm not perfect, and you're welcome to share with me what you see in me, but here's what I see about us, or here's something that you're doing, and here's how it makes me feel when you say that, or here's how I feel when you take this action, or when you do this. You see the difference? There's a difference in communicating and blaming. There's a difference in being honest and pointing the finger. So Solomon says in Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 15, the tongue, my words, the tongue has a power of life and death. I can breathe life into our relationship and make it stronger, or I can kill it just by how I choose to share with you. I need to choose my words carefully. And then I need to choose, it's a conscious choice, conscious decision, I need to choose to forgive. There may be something that you have done that has been hurtful to me, that you have said that has bothered me. There may be something going on in our relationship that needs to be fixed, and maybe it's actions that you've taken or haven't taken. And I need to be willing, I may have every right to say, it is your fault. It might actually be your fault. But instead of pointing the fingers and blaming and saying all the reasons why whatever is broken is because of you, I need to choose to forgive and to let it go. That's what God calls us to. That's what Jesus modeled for us. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 13, Paul says, bear with each other and forgive each other. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. Now, very important thing that Paul says here. Forgive if any of you has a grievance against someone, which means what? I might have a grievance against you. There might be something that you have said or done that's a problem. And I might have every right to hold a grudge, to be resentful, or even to bring it up and put it in front of your face. This is what's wrong. This is what you are causing in our relationship. This is the damage that you're doing. But Paul says to do what instead? Forgive. How? As the Lord has forgiven us. Have we wronged God? Have we made mistakes that have probably hurt the heart of God? Anybody? What does the Lord do? He forgives. He doesn't hold it against us. He doesn't keep bringing it up over and over. He doesn't point the finger at us and say, this is your fault. The reason that you and I are not close is your fault. He forgives. And he calls us to do the same.